What's up, nerds? Welcome to DNA Pow Block. Yes, this is a short episode. This is kind of an experiment. Sorry we don't have a real episode this week. I've been battling really crappy sickness, so that's why we didn't get to record our normal episode, but I still wanted to give you something this week. Next week, we should have a full-blown episode for you. This week, it's kind of going to be more along the lines of my vlog format. I don't know if you've been watching them. You should check them out Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Thinking about doing a daily one, but these 3-day-a-week thing is what I'm starting out at. So you might have noticed if you watched the vlog this morning that I've been sick a little bit, and I kind of sound that way in that one. But for today, DNA Pow Block pixel, if you will, a pixel of Pow Block. Pixel of Pow Block? It's crazy. There's a couple things I want to talk about. One, we had a question. I want to answer that question. What do you want to see from a Metroid game on Switch? There's two things I want to see in terms of a Metroid game on Switch. One, I want to see them take full advantage of the Switch's hardware. I know it's a little bit more powerful than the Wii U, about on par with what Xbox One launched with. Xbox One used to allow developers to access 5 gigs of the RAM, whereas the rumored Switch specs say 4 gigs, which I think is completely fine, especially because I'm not going to lie, I really just want this thing for Nintendo games and Virtual Console and, indie games like Axiom Verge and Shovel Knight. But as for the Switch, Metroid, I want to see HD Metroid for the first time. We haven't gotten an HD Metroid yet. It's one of the few franchises that we didn't get on the Wii U that we still don't have an HD. This kind of reminds me of the N64 era, where we didn't get a 3D Metroid until GameCube. We didn't get Metroid. The first glimpse of 3D Metroid we got was actually in Smash Brothers for N64. So I want to see a fully realized HD world for Metroid. I want to see them. I want to see how Nintendo creates a vast planet for you to explore in a 3D space similar to Metroid Prime. Metroid Prime's still one of my favorite games from the GameCube era. Not my favorite Metroid game, but definitely an awesome experience on GameCube. My favorite Metroid's still the original. I just want them to deliver a solid Metroid experience. On the other hand, I do want to see some indie developers or a team like Drinkbox or, Todd Happ. I want to see them allow other developers to handle their properties. I think there's so many good Metroidvania games out there that aren't developed by Konami or Nintendo that, I think Nintendo would be smart to reel some of these developers in and say, here's the parameters of which you can work. But here you go. You have full access to Metroid. You have full access to the history. I think they could be a little timid because of what happened with Other M, which I personally didn't think was that bad of a game. The cutscenes were kind of meh and stuff like that. But I don't think it was that terrible of a game. I liked the concept. I liked the idea. But I think, Yacht Club, Way Forward would be great to handle a Metroid game. On Game Boy Advance and DS, we used to get Castlevania and Metroid games yearly, and it was great with Metroid Fusion, Metroid Zero Mission, the Castlevania games on Game Boy Advance and DS. Those games were great, and I think that giving us a 2D Metroid every 2 years from a different development team outside of Nintendo would be a smart move for them. I think that, I know Metroid doesn't sell very well compared to Zelda or Mario, but I think that could change. I think that if they marketed Metroid right, I think, if they... Let's go back to the 3D one for a minute. Like I said, I've said this on multiple shows. I've sent mail about this to multiple shows. Give me the Metroid single-player campaign, a Metroid Prime-style campaign. But give me the... I still think Metroid Prime Federation Force is a decent multiplayer experience. Give me a campaign like that. opposite of the single player campaign, and then give me a multiplayer suite similar to Halo, where you can customize your bounty hunter. You can give them abilities. Take a page from Destiny or Call of Duty. Give your bounty hunter a super. Give them a subclass. If we're looking at Destiny, give them a subclass where these subclasses provide different abilities. Give us something like that. Now, I know Metroid is primarily a single player experience, but if you're going to sell this thing to people in the West who love that competitive edge, I think Metroid needs a multiplayer suite. It's already set up to be like a shooter if you're looking at Metroid Prime. I think that giving it a multiplayer suite, a competitive multiplayer suite, would be a fantastic idea. You could build loadouts, you could customize your helmets, your armor, your armors will give you different perks, stuff like that. I'm not saying they need to do that right away, but I think it's something they could look into. And I think setting up Metroid like they did in Federation Force, similar to a Destiny, is a good move for them. We can still have that single player exploration experience. I'm not saying get rid of that. I think that is crucial to the Metroid experience. But I think looking to expand Metroid as a multiplayer platform is also a smart decision. Metroid Prime Federation Force was a decent game. It got really hard if you're playing by yourself. But, if you're looking at that as a multiplayer experience, it was a fun experience. It functioned very much like Destiny Strikes. So that's one thing I wanted to get into. So that's the 3D Metroid I want. I think it's cool. I think it's a cool concept. I think it's a great idea. So that's my thoughts on a Metroid game for Switch. We got another question. What third-party game do you think fits Nintendo the best? And something I talked about earlier in my vlog today, Overwatch. I think Overwatch and things that Blizzard is doing with that game fits Nintendo very nicely. Now, I know Switch is a game that's made for on the go, and I know Overwatch is an almost always online multiplayer game, but I think that Overwatch, the art style, the fun, the corniness, the art style, the characters all fit Nintendo very well. I think that, a game like Overwatch can give you a balance with that Splatoon. Like, it would split the audience between Splatoon and Call of Duty. It gives you that nice shooter campaign, but it doesn't take itself too seriously. The lore behind all the characters kind of fits Nintendo well. I think it's a good choice. So I think Overwatch would fit Nintendo well. There's a couple other games I feel like would fit well. I feel like Tomb Raider would fit well on a Nintendo console. Maybe that's just personal preference. Maybe that's because I love those games so much that I wish they were on Nintendo platforms. I remember when the Wii U came out and they said that they weren't porting Tomb Raider, the rebooted Tomb Raider from 2013. They weren't porting it to Wii U. I was kind of upset. I thought for sure that was going to be a game coming to Wii U. DMC didn't come, which I think would be great on Wii U, especially because Bayonetta right now is the only third-person action game that you have on there right now. So those are kind of my thoughts on this. So this is going to be it for this edition of Pow Block. These pixelated versions. I don't really know what to call it. But these are kind of what you're going to be getting. If we don't do a full episode, I am going to try to get something small up to share with you guys. So next week we will be back with a full episode. So thank you so much for watching. Remember to check out DNAnetwork.net to check out all of our blogs and reviews. Remember to like, subscribe, and share our YouTube page. Check out NGR Radio, our podcast on iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, and Stitcher every Monday. And until next time, we love you.